Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuk with Queen Bee Creations, and today we are going to be doing kind of a Frankensteining kind of project. So meaning I'm taking a number of thrifted finds and I'm going to merge them together into one item. And sometimes I just kind of like to challenge myself. I just stack things together and go, okay, make something with it. You know, it's getting a little crowded back there. So first up, what I have is this big metal planter. In and of itself, it's a good thrifted find. You could paint this out, add a little bit of a cocoa matting in there, dump a bunch of soil and put some plants, super cute on its own, right? I have this wooden candlestick with some metal. I do have the other little pieces to this. It's just missing a screw. I have this turned wooden candlestick, which is really old. It's dirty. It needs a good wash. We're going to do that. But it's really been over oiled. It's just not nice on its own. And I'm going to combine those with a little thrifted terracotta pot and 4 little glass, whatever. I guess they could be shot glasses. I think of them as candle holders. Those are all thrifted items. We're going to merge together and make one item. Now, to begin with, I'm not going to be using all the pieces of this candlestick holder. So I am hoping that it comes apart. All of these pieces screw off. I'm just more interested in getting the metal part. It looks like it's screwing apart, which is awesome because then I can paint all the wood separately and I don't have to be taping things off. And I don't want this to be a terribly complicated or crazy making thing. I want to show you how you can take some of these items. Oh my goodness, this is screwed. This is a big screw. Okay, that was pretty healthy. Okay. So first of all, I mean, you could totally separate this, make this into just a candlestick holder. So just so you know, there's tons of multiple uses for all of these things, which is one of the reasons that I love them so much. So I'm going to take all those little pieces apart, get these separate, and I'm going to paint out this the same as I am the metal base. So my metal pieces are going to be consistent, as are then my wood pieces. The metal, I am just going to take to the back and spray paint. So I'm going to look for whatever color I got. If I have, okay, this one doesn't want to do. If I have a matte black, I may go for that. Just because I'd like to do, this might be too big to fit in there. But just because I'd like to do the wood kind of a fun color. I'm going to see what I've got open on the shelf, but I'm thinking something bright and cheery. I'm looking at this as maybe being outdoors, you know? So kind of staying with the planter theme, maybe having it outdoors. You know, people can do whatever they want with it. In my head, that's where it's going. So I am going to get these guys spray painted, and then I'm going to go taking a look at what I've got on the shelf, color-wise, what I'm thinking that I'd like to kind of do with it, what might be some of my best options, and you know, then we'll go from there. So everything needs a good dust, then spray paint for these guys, and I'll check on colors for these guys and come back. All right, because this is going to be for outdoors, what I've decided is all of my pieces, so I do want all the flat discs and 2 parts of the main candlestick. So all those flat discs, I need this candle holder, my little pot, all painted out, and I'm going to use this bright turquoise azure from Fusion. I'm deliberately choosing to use an all-in-one that can be okay for use outdoors, so that it's going to be a little hardier. The only pieces that I am not using from the candlestick are the actual little candle holders. I'm not going to be putting tapered candlesticks out there, so these pieces I don't need, but I will hang on to them, because just even off the top of my head right now, I think that if you add like a little wood bead and some decorations and little wings, it'd make great little angels for hanging off the Christmas tree. And that's just kind of my first thought about them. So we definitely don't get rid of things like that. They are super useful. So they're going to go into the wood stash that I can use later. So all that is really left to do is to crack open my Fusion and get these items. Oh, it's got a special trim on it, holding it closed. All right, that explains it. I thought I was weak. Not too much, I'm okay. See, look, beauty. It's gonna dry a little bit darker, but not by much. So I am going to get these painted out. I would expect that I'm going to need 2 coats, just for nice smooth coverage, but also from a durability standpoint. So I'm just gonna want to get these. Look at how lovely that's going to be. I do have the other metal pieces being spray painted a matte black. So this is going to be just an awesome contrast with that. And I think just be super cute outside in the summer, adding, you know, kind of a little bit of that summery vibe. So that's all the magic that's taking place right now, is getting these all coated in 2 coats. I'm going to do the underside just because I think there's a little rim of it that will show. So I just need to do maybe about that much. So let's get these painted, and then we'll do our assembly, and you'll see where my head went when I was looking at this jumble of things. It just happened to get all kind of stacked up together and inspired this idea. Now that we've got everything painted, I want to reattach our elements to our little wood discs. So what I do have, because the original screws for it are still attached to the little taper cup holders, right? So I have kind of a pack of screws that happen to be black, so it works out nicely, that I got off Amazon. So found one that, you're the wrong one, that fits through my hole, fits through here, and then we're able to put the little nut on. On the bottom to kind of hold it in place. Let me flip this over. Works easier for me. My fingers are too fat for this. So we're going to put these on, attach them on, and that's ultimately where we're going to put our little candle, our tea light holders, is on these 4 outside pieces. So that's nice and firm. I'm going to get the other 2 on, and then we're going to assemble this back onto our candlestick. Our last flat disc goes on the top of the candlestick, so we're able to screw this one down in, which just means we've got nice steady placements for everything that we're adding on top. So this set comes with the little Allen keys that are in the perfect sizes for all of those screws. So we'll get that tightened up. Oh, there we go. And then we have a couple more things to add on to this. First, we're going to be adding on, let me pull a little bit of the metal down in places where I'm just bending it so it's a little flatter so that our candles aren't sitting on the side. So we're ultimately going to put these. Now I have round-headed screws here, but because I want to add this with a combination of Gorilla adhesive that I'm going to put in a big blob in the middle, and then we're going to put the hot glue around the outside. That combination is going to have that actually sitting up raised. So I'm going to have the 4 of these around the center, and then remember we did our terracotta pot? That one is going to get glued down. I painted a little bit down into it just so that if the soil, if we were using real soil, didn't come to the top, that we still have that beautiful blue. Check out the contrast with that blue and the black. Stunning, I love that. So I'm gonna get those glued and let them have a moment to dry, because then, while they're gluing and drying, I am going to attach our pedestal candlestick right in the center there. And again, the same combination of glue, because if I put this down in the middle, right, this is sitting way too low relative to any plantings that we put there. So we want that raised up, but I'm not gonna, and then ultimately this gets glued onto there so that we have that all attached as well. So I'm gonna just glue, get everything settled, and then I'll show you the finished look. But a little MacGyvering, a little Frankensteining of a project can come up with some awesome options. Now, I don't have any plants and soil here, so I've done this with kind of plants that I have here, just faux plants, but it gives you an idea of where I was going with this, what it could look like. You can have just all kinds of green ivy trailing down here. You could plant lettuces in here, or herbs, and it could be, like a tabletop herb planter. I put a little floral in the top, but again, that could be your basil, that could be some trailing vines too. We've got the little tea lights that are gonna be safe down in there from wind if you have it outdoors. It's just kind of a fun little, obviously a unique looking piece that's different than what you're gonna find anywhere else, but kind of cute, kind of fun, infinitely practical, and all done with thrifted items in just kind of a combination that you're not going to see anywhere else. I love the idea of taking thrifted items and combining them to create something unique and unusual. This fits the bill, but it takes it from, gee, you know what, nobody was going to use this kind of candelabra. Well, it's still a bit of a candle element, but it also gives you the height, be able to create some distinction, taking a plain planter from just being one-dimensional, and we're creating a lot of tiers. You could easily eliminate the candles and just put small pots on there, similar to this, so that you have just all plants and have them all just kind of tumbling down all throughout. So maybe it becomes a tiered floral garden or a tiered herb garden. Anything goes. Let me know what you think of this one, guys. Looking forward to hearing from you on this, and looking forward to seeing you on the next. Until then, take care.